So one of the other things that we learned from the Monday hearings with the January 6th Select Committee was that Donald Trump had set up an election integrity fund, I think maybe it was called, but set up this fund to fight all of this election fraud and, of course, to challenge it in court. And in the first week alone, they raised $100 million. $100 million in the first week. And then, of course, through overtime, it went on to raise $250 million. But there's a problem with this, election fighting fund or whatever you want to call it. First and foremost, it didn't exist. See, the money was actually going to Donald Trump's super PACs, and not a single dime of it to this day has actually been spent fighting election results. Not a dime. And that's a story that we've even talked about in the past here, because Trump, of course, has been raising money off this forever. And there have been plenty of reports telling us that he's raised a lot, so we did know that. We know he didn't spend any money on it, and instead left all of that, basically outsourced it to all of these private people, like Sidney Powell had to go on her own, Lynn Wood had to go on his own, Mike Lindell doing it all on his own, raising money themselves. Meanwhile, Trump's pulling in all the money and he's spending it at his own golf courses. He sent some to Mark Meadows' charity. Basically spending it on anything he can other than fighting the 2020 election results. So that's bad enough as it is, right? But once the legal experts started to look into this, they told us that it's pretty much wire fraud. Raising money off false premises, under false pretenses, and then using the money for something else is in fact wire fraud here in the United States. However, and this is where the big, asterisk comes in here, the laws are a little different with regard to political action committees. If this had just been, let's say, for example, if Mike Lindell had done what Donald Trump did here, but didn't funnel the money to a super PAC, instead put it in his own bank account, boom, you've got him on wire fraud all day. Assuming, of course, he didn't spend any money on challenging the election results. That would be wire fraud. And I'm not saying Lindell did it, I'm just using him as an example. Trump, on the other hand, did do that, but he funneled it to political action committees. And those can operate with a lot more impunity than an average person could. Right? There's actually fewer laws regulating these organized entities than there are individuals. And so maybe there's a chance Donald Trump could escape without any kind of legal ramifications from that. But that's due to the fact that nobody wants to regulate political action committees. That's why they were designed. That's why they were created. So you could have these engines that can suck up as much money as humanly possible, and you can basically spend it on whatever the hell you want to spend it on without any oversight. There's a couple little rules here and there, but even the few times we've seen people violate those with political action committees, nothing bad really happens to them for the most part. So why not, right? Why not just go out there and grift to your heart's desire? Rip off all of these little small-time donors, take their money, and leave them with absolutely nothing. Because that's what Trump did. Now I'm hoping they're able to look into this and find out if in fact the man did commit wire fraud or any other kind of, banking fraud, whatever it is. Trump's sloppy. We know that. He is very, very sloppy. So if there was a crime committed, I'm pretty sure that the smart people looking into this, the real legal experts, are going to be able to find it. At that point, of course, it rests with Merrick Garland, who may or may not at that point decide to even do anything about it at all. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.